please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Corman?
Here.
Mr. Pavoni?
Here.
Ms. Perez? Mr. McGurven?
Here.
Ms. Witchy?
Here.
Mr. Person?
Here.
Mr. Prince?
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, one absent.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Prince.
I move that we excuse Ruth Perez.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Prince, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that council excuse Councilmember Perez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. So, first thing on the agenda, we have two special presentations tonight. One is a donation from the Custer Fund, Lynn Bohart.
So thank you, everyone, council and mayor, for having us here today. I'd like to introduce one of our board members, Judy Schaefer, and Leslie Betlock, who's behind me somewhere. As you know, the Renton Community Foundation manages about $8.5 million in individual charitable funds. These are granted back to the community for everything from healthcare to the arts to the environment, for education, all wonderful community projects. And 2 years ago, we were invited to make a $200,000 grant from the Charles A. Custer Parks Fund. In 2001, Mr. Custer's bequest left enough money to create two funds, one for the Historical Society and one for the city's park department. These are large funds, over time have actually grown as the market has grown. And so we were very proud to make that $200,000 grant for the Meadowcrest Playground. And that was when we were first building the playground. And now we've been asked if we would consider a $55,000 grant to help finish the project with something called, did I get it right?
The Nature Playground.
The Nature Playground. So I have this enormous fake check to present to you, which we'll use for a photo op, but I wanted to ask Leslie to come up and just explain exactly, for those of you who might be unfamiliar with it, exactly what this little playground is meant to do.
Oh, so nice.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Leslie Betlock, Parks Planning and Natural Resources Director. So we're very excited to fully complete Meadowcrest. This is phase 2, and this is for the nature play area. And for a lot of children who are challenged, they need an area that's a little bit more quiet, a respite for them, and this area will provide that. There'll be educational opportunities, there'll be some climbing rocks and more plant materials and engravings on some of the stepping stones for kids to have some more textural alternatives. We're also going to be installing an arbor, kind of an entry gateway off of the park side that'll be decorated. It'll be metal with brightly colored flowers, some bugs, and just to add a little bit more excitement. And we're very thankful to have the Renton Community Foundation administer the Charles Custer's Fund to help us complete this project.
And as you know, the Community Foundation actually grants hundreds of thousands of dollars every year back to the community in the forms of scholarships and community grants. But I don't think there's anything as heartwarming as something like this, when you're able to help kids that are challenged, can't necessarily go to a playground as other kids can. This playground is so meaningful, and they're able to play with all the other kids in the neighborhood too. So it's really meant for everybody. The parents can join them, and so we are just really pleased to be able to present this to you. So, is there a possibility for a photo op?
You bet.
Okay, we'll line up.
Who would you like to have in the photo?
Get you on there. We'll just line up back here. There.
You know the drill.
Yeah. The duties as a second.
Oops, excuse me.
Is it on the duties as assigned?
Okay. Oh, perfect.
Thought you were
On for a second.
That wasn't me.
All right. Say money.
Money.
Meadowcrest. Thank you. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
No, no.
Thank you.
There's some applause.
Okay, thank you very much. That's great. Next, we have a special presentation on Renton Human Trafficking Awareness Event. And Jeanette Millman's here to kick this off for us. And we have somebody that's going to speak on the sideline there.
Okay. Good evening. I am Jeanette Millman, and with me are Della Shane, Lindy Ocampo, Tina Harris, and Pat Dennis from Renton. Della, Lindy, and I are longtime residents of Renton, and we're also part of the planning committee for this upcoming Renton Human Traffic Awareness event. Other members of the committee include the City of Renton employees that are here, Karen Burswick, and others from the Renton community. Pat, Lindy, Della, and I are also members of the Peace and Justice Committee of St. Anthony's Parish. Our mission statement begins, "We endeavor to be active followers of Jesus by educating ourselves and others on issues of social justice relevant to our time, by advocating and working for systemic change for the poor and vulnerable, and by promoting our passion for justice." Last year, our committee attended a screening in Seattle of Tom Matsui's film, The Long Night, 7 Lives Forever Changed by the American Sex Trade. It was followed by a panel discussion. This evening impacted us greatly, so much so that we decided the topic of human trafficking would be, and indentured labor would be our next focus. In June, we attended the first City of Renton Teen Summit, where I introduced the idea to Preeti Shwihar, who's here, and I asked whether or not she thought human trafficking is of any interest to Renton officials. She was affirmative, sharing it as a top priority of the mayor, and we were very encouraged. So a couple of us from the Peace and Justice Committee met and sat down our vision for bringing such an event to Renton. We invited participants from other churches, community groups, and the Renton officials to an orientation meeting to share our vision. We were absolutely delighted that activists Lee and Karen Wimberly and City of Renton employees Tina Harris, Karen Burswick, and Heather Spencer attended, along with others. From that first meeting in January, our event took root and is now to become a reality with the showing of the film The Long Night, followed by a panel discussion of local experts who serve in this area. Along with the City of Renton, it is being sponsored by Renton Ecumenical Council of Churches, or REACH, and by the Faith Action Network, FAN. We invite you as council members and mayor to attend, and we thank you most wholeheartedly, Mayor, and your office, the Chief of Police, and the City Hall staff for their exceptional support.
We also wanted to share that this film is made entirely in King County. In fact, a couple of the actual victims and families are from the cities of Renton and Auburn. And we believe that many people in the city of Renton don't even realize that human trafficking, it happens right here in our town. We want to get the word out about this terrible crime, not only about the sex crime, but sex trade, but also about trafficking in other industries, such as restaurants, domestic workers, etc. We believe raising awareness and education will assist policing authorities and help parents to protect their children. We're very appreciative and pleased with the fine work that the Renton police and prosecutors are doing in this area. We are grateful crime prevention is a high priority in our city, and we encourage the issue of human trafficking to continue to be a high priority. There are many youth, their families, and marginalized people who are impacted by these crimes. We want them helped and protected. We hope for support from the city for continued education and training of the police force. We ask that the city school district make human trafficking a required topic for junior and senior high school students. They are vulnerable ages, they are naive, although they may appear to be sophisticated. To those of you who are watching on television, we invite you personally to attend the movie event on Wednesday, June 8th, starting at 6:30 p.m. at the Carco Theater in Renton. Admission for youth 19 years old and under is free, and adults it's only $10. The ticket information will be available on the Brown Paper Bag website. We would like to hand you a save the date card. Please join us, and our state representative and our state senator, who will also be in attendance. Please join us for that June 8th event. Do you have any questions?
Any questions from council?
May we give you a
Absolutely, you can
save the
give
date
that to the
card?
city clerk, she'll just distribute those.
Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for being here tonight. It's an important topic, and we appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Heather. Okay, next item is administrative report, Mr. Covington.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Council, a couple of items for yours and the public's information. Solid Waste Utility will host its last eco-film presentation this Thursday, March 10th, 6:30 p.m. at the Carco Theater. The film, sound, and vision produced by the people for Puget Sound will be screened, followed by a community discussion with speakers working to prevent water pollution in our region. The event is free and a great opportunity to learn what each of us can do to improve the quality of our waterways and help protect marine life. People can get a hold of Linda Knight or Gina Kim by calling 425-430-7397, and you can get more information. As every week, we try to let the public be aware of some of our road projects. Most of them are continuing projects, so I think the only one that I think is new is some work that we're going to be doing underneath the I-405 freeway and Sunset Boulevard, just as a curb lane closure. So there'll be a little bit to watch out there. Other than that, we continue to work on Logan Avenue on Main, and some utility work in the Chelan Avenue and Union Avenue areas. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Covington. Next item is audience comment. We have a couple people here from the Renton Youth Advocacy Center that want to speak, Beth and Alan. Oh, okay. Well, it's all yours, Beth.
Oh, okay. Well, we just kind of wanted to give the council an update on where we're at. So, we opened 2 years ago, and that was as a safe place for kids to go after school. But we've expanded the programs, and we have a lot of new partners. We are now eligible for the Gates Foundation Matching Funds Program, and one of our young ladies is a mentee of one of the Gates Foundation members. We've also linked in with Puget Sound ESD. They have a data collection program, and it's designed to help schools and parents and all of the organizations that their kids use, like YMCA or RIAC, interact and share what the kids are doing, and if they're doing homework, kind of give everybody feedback on what the kids might need. And the third thing that we've done, which is really cool, is we now have a peer volunteer program. So it's headed up by Alan, who probably couldn't make it because he's in about 1 million clubs and also does martial arts. And he herds the cats for us. He basically schedules, the kids sign up. It's all run by the kids, but the beauty of it is that at the age of middle school to high school, which is, 12 to 17, they're way more likely to look and listen to kids than they are to people with more life experience, if you want to put it nicely, like myself. So those kids that are working for us on a regular basis, they're modeling that responsible, kind of engaged, volunteer lifestyle that we want all the kids that come to the center to embrace, because we want all our kids to succeed. And we've had some good things go on. We now have programs where our kids give back. Every year they participate in food drives, they participate in a blanket drive. The blankets go to Reach. And there are a couple other things, because we don't want them to just be there and just kind of not do anything. We want them to see that the way to really succeed is to give back also. And then the other new program that we have, which we're just getting into, is a coalition of Within Reach, YMCA, and King County United Way, and it's a healthy meal program. We have snacks. The kids always get a healthy snack. Of course, being kids, they cadge for more, so by doing homework or helping other kids, they earn more. But this will be an actual meal program, which is great, because some of these kids, I think the school meal may be the only real meal they get every day. So this will enable every kid that comes to the center to get a healthy meal. And the last thing to note is everyone is completely uncompensated. No one gets any money from our director, through our board, all the volunteers, all the high school volunteers. So of course, we're having a gala to raise funds, because we're also trying to link in with El Centro de la Raza to bring some other programs, for maybe the Spanish-speaking kids or anyone actually. And to do that, of course, we need to have a fundraiser. So we just wanted to invite all of you and anyone who might be watching to come out. It'll be a fun night. It is April 23rd from 5 to 9. It's at Robert C. Roberts Event Center at Renton Technical College. And the desserts should be pretty spectacular, because they're all going to be made by Renton Technical College and Lindbergh High Culinary Program students. And I saw the demo cakes. Oh my goodness, I wanted to eat the picture. So if you have time, and if the audience, anyone in the audience listening wants to come, you can find tickets on Eventbrite, and you can type in RYAC Renton Gala and it'll pop right up. Thanks.
That's great. Thank you, Beth. It's a great program. They do wonderful stuff at the center there. And so that's April 23rd, 5 to 9 at Renton Technical College. Okay. Next is the consent agenda. We have 8 items for council consideration. Are there any items a council member would like pulled for discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I would like to remove item G for separate consideration.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move approval of the consent agenda minus item G.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that council concur with the consent agenda minus item G. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Pavoni.
Yes, item G is referring to the police department. They're doing some staffing changes, and there's a position, a police commander, that's being changed to a police manager. And it's actually a time-sensitive thing, so I'd move that the council would concur with, or I move that we, that the council concur with the recommendation. There we go.
Okay.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Pavoni and seconded by Mr. Corman that council concur with item G. Any discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, thank you. Unfinished business, Mr. Corman.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I actually have a committee of the whole report to present. Council has copies of it. We just met in the committee. I was just looking at it though, and council's aware, we hastened to produce a report, and I think I found some other errors, so I'm gonna need the city attorney's attention. May I go approach the attorney for
Yes,
just a second? I
absolutely.
just want to make sure I've got this report correct. Oh, okay. Is it okay?
Yes.
And then I say, Mr. Mayor, I move.
Yeah.
Getting it.
Opposed to commute.
Oh.
I couldn't do that. No way.
So,
Gotta find you.
I'll just get get back to the mic. Thank you. So I just made a couple of edits. The Committee of the Whole report was built around a lodging tax report. And so the clerk's got a slightly edited version that she'll read, and that's the version we'll ask to approve, if that's okay.
Okay. So this is the Committee of the Whole report regarding allocation of lodging tax funding for 2016. The Lodging Tax Advisory, okay, so I'll make the change, because
Well, that's
oh, no,
correct.
okay, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
The Lodging Tax Advisory Committee met on June 30th, 2015, to approve a new application process for the allocation of lodging tax funding for 2016, ensuring consistency, fairness, and compliance with state regulations. The committee met again on October 9th, 2015, setting a timeline for the application process and directing staff to hold a workshop for interested applicants on October 28th, 2015. Applications were due on November 20th, 2015, and 19 applications were received. The committee heard presentations from all applicants on December 4th, 2015, and met again on December 16th, 2015, to finalize its recommendations. The Lodging Tax Advisory Committee recommends Renton City Council approve 2016 expenditures from the Lodging Tax Fund as follows. Renton Technical College Reading Apprenticeship Conference, $2,500. Renton Technical College Reading Apprenticeship in STEM, $2,500. Renton Civic Theater 2016 season, $2,500. Seattle International Film Festival 2016 Renton, $20,000. Renton Chamber of Commerce 2016 Oktoberfest, $12,500. City of Renton, Renton Community Marketing Campaign, $50,000. City of Renton Seahawks Rally, $10,000. Renton Chamber of Commerce Return to Renton Car Show, $5,000. Sevier, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but Sevier Seattle South Asian Film Festival, $7,000. Olympic Peninsula Fishing Innovations Atlantic Salmon Fly Expo, $10,000. And City of Renton Multicultural Festival, $20,000, for a total recommendation of $142,000. The Committee of the Whole recommends Council approve the above expenditures and further recommends that the allocations of $75,000 to the Renton Chamber of Commerce for the Visitors Center be forwarded back to the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee for additional information and will be brought back to the committee at a later date. And this is signed by the committee chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
move the council concur in the committee report.
Second?
It's been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that council concur with the Committee of the Whole report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, that's all.
Thank you. Mr. Pavoni.
No unfinished business.
Okay, Mr. McIrvin,
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Witchy.
Yes, I have a Transportation Committee report.
This committee report is regarding project acceptance for the Southwest 27th Street Strander Boulevard Extension Phase 1, Segment 2A project with Guy F. Atkinson Construction LLC, CAG 11-133. The Transportation Aviation Committee reviewed and recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to accept completion of the Southwest 27th Street Strander Boulevard Extension Phase 1, Segment 2A project and approve the final pay estimate of $230,000, $383.90, subject to receiving the required certifications. This is signed by the committee vice chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Witchy.
I move that council concur with the recommendation of the Transportation Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Witchy, seconded by Mr. Corman, that council concur with the Transportation Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, Mr. Person.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, moving on to resolutions and ordinances, we have one ordinance for second and final reading.
An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending Chapter 27 Shopping Cart Regulation of Title VI Police Regulations of the Renton Municipal Code by clarifying regulations, adding definitions for administrator, identification sign, cart sign, and impounded cart, deleting the requirements for shopping cart retrieval and containment plans, and adding fines for violations of this chapter.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Corman.
I move council adopt this ordinance as read.
Second?
It's Been moved by Mr. Corman, seconded by Mr. Pavoni, that this ordinance be adopted as read. This requires a roll call.
Mr. Corman?
Aye.
Mr. Pavoni?
Aye.
Ms. Perez? Mr. McIrvin?
Aye.
Ms. Witchy?
Aye.
Mr. Person?
Aye.
Mr. Prince?
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
You guys have it. Thank you very much. Moving on to new business, Mr. Corman.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, I just need to announce a meeting of the Committee of the Whole for March 14th at 5:30 PM in the Council Conferencing Center. There are two items on that agenda. First is administration work plan areas of emphasis, including homelessness and vulnerable population. And the second item is risk management annual report. And that is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pavoni.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Public Safety Committee will be meeting March 14th at 3 o'clock in the council conference room. We have two items we'll be discussing. The first one is emerging issues in public safety, and the second is fire department data collection briefing. That is all.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McIrvin.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Ms. Witchy.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Community Services Committee meeting that was scheduled for March 10th has been canceled.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Person.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Finance Committee will meet Monday, March 14th at 4 PM in the council conference room. We have 7 topics, vouchers, crop walk fee waiver request, lease amendment with Amazing Grace School, contract for third-party liability administration, request to reclassify the human resources manager position, Meadowcrest Playground Phase 2, and emerging issues in revenue streams. That's
Okay,
it.
thank you. Mr. Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I have a Planning and Development Committee committee meeting on March 10th at 3 PM. I have 2 items on the agenda, docket 11 briefing and emerging issues. And that
Okay.
is all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Audience comment, anybody want to address the council?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Person and seconded by Mr. Prince, so we adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.